For day one of the Leinster Championship, Carlow are surprisingly confident. There are 5 newcomers to Championship football, 3 in defence, Pádraig Murphy, Benny Kavanagh, Paul McElligott, and 1 at centre forward, Dara Foley. But by far and away, the most interesting of the new arrivals is at midfield, where Brendan Murphy and Tomás Walsh are joined for the very first time. The story of this match and many more, I feel, will revolve around these 2 fine footballers. The great Mick O'Dwyer starts his 7th decade of Championship football and his 4th season with Wicklow by picking 12 of last year's Championship team. Dara Haney returns to guard the edge of the square, with Kilmacud Crooks Brian McGrath at 6. A late change sees Don Jackman named as James Stafford's midfield partner, and their performance today will undoubtedly have a bearing. Up front, all the big names are there: Dean Odlum, Sean Furlong, Tony Hannon, and team captain Leighton Glenn. Long ball into space, Carlow first to the ball. First challenge is a good one. Pádraig McWalter coming from right half back, slipping one through in towards Shawnee Furlong. He's always dangerous comes Championship time. Comes back out far as Paul Earls. Here's Dean Odlum, struggling with form and indeed injuries over the winter and early spring, but he is a man to watch out for. The referee has overruled his earlier indication, and he's going to give a throw ball. Slipping through there is Leighton Glenn. Tony Hannon, first score of the Leinster Championship. The name is Tony Hannon. Comes on for his Dean Odlum. Into the space, gone inside is Nicky Myrna. The pass is not a great one. Good defending by Carlow. Comes to Tony Hannon, and that's over the bar. He's looking sharp, isn't he? Wicklow the dominant side on the scoreboard. Great catch by Tomás Walsh. Brendan Murphy slips one through for as Johnny Kavanagh. Good combination, football again from Carlow. Is the finish equally as classy. Fine point. Wonderful play by Brendan Murphy. Tomás Walsh has gone inside. Murphy is steadying the ship here, floating this one in, and that is a wonderful score. Brendan Murphy. Punched down by Tomás Walsh. Here comes Sean Gannon. Stumbled. The referee having a word again with, this time, Nicky Myrna. He could well be showing a yellow card here. He is, for that deliberate trip. This is the incident again. Slightly better, easier angle for Simon Ray. And Carlow, we're back in business. Level in Portlaoise. Leighton Glenn, international rules footballer. This lad can play anywhere. Dropping this in to Sean Furlong, trying to get there ahead of Liam Murphy. Here's Furlong! And that's gone over the bar. He really is a wonderful footballer and quite dangerous near goal. Watch this. Furlong getting the better of Liam Murphy. He had a rasper, came off the crossbar. Nice little flick there from Dean Odlum. Hannon again orchestrating affairs from centre forward. Pádraig McWalter. Good build up by Wicklow as they bear down on goal. Carlow under pressure, and the ball is in the net. Paul Earls. Carlow defensively very weak here. Here's Paul Earls. 3 Carlow defenders around him. He was under pressure. He just toe poked it, and he sneaked it in the post, by the post, and beat James Clark. Tomás Walsh waiting for it, gathering it, trying to get through the cover. 2 Wicklow players around him. One of them is Leighton Glenn. Tomás Walsh is brought to the ground, and that's a free in for Carlow. Meanwhile, the referee, Garoda Canava, has his book out again. The referee wants to have a word with one of the Wicklow players. It is Nicky Myrna. He's trying to explain, and that's a second yellow for Nicky Myrna and a red. For a frontal charge, Nicky Myrna has been sent off for Wicklow, and the Garden County are reduced to 14 players. Paul Earls puts it into the path of Pádraig McWalter. An attacking wing back, and he has a fair burst of speed. Giving it in as Dean Odlum. Gets inside the cover of Pádraig Murphy. Backfires McWalter. Tony Hannon is outside. McWalter goes for his own score. Is that the right decision? It is. St. Patrick's man from Wicklow Town gets his first point of the Leinster Championship. He was part of the initial movement, and he was there at the very end. Coming through here is Alan Curran. Thought he might get a free. Referee says no. Back out for his Carpenter. Slips one through. Brian McGrath comes into challenge. Good work here by Carlow! And Mervyn Travers makes a great save. Well, Carlow were patient here, and they did really well. Goalkeeper watched the save. Excellent. Easily gathered by James Stafford. Onto Leighton Glenn. Back to Stafford. There's a player over at the far side. It's Odlum. Backfires Leighton Glenn. With the side of the boot. Puts it over the bar. 1-2-3. Nice combination play. Results in Leighton Glenn's third point of the match. The call comes from the stand side, provided by Alan Curran. Going through the middle, Brendan Murphy. And that is hit off the side of the boot, and that is a wonderful score. It's his third point. Right down his name, Brendan Murphy. A player of real quality. John Hayden. JJ Smith. Carlow try and break down this very determined, very organised Wicklow defence. Crossfield ball. There's a chance here. Brilliantly saved. There's a chance off the post. There's another chance. He gets a knee to it. Who has it now? Carlow have it. Back outside. Brilliant block down. Drama in Portlaoise around the Wicklow goal mat, and at the end of it all, it's wide. Leighton Glenn, confronted by Benny Kavanagh. Still Glenn, lovely play. Still Glenn, still Glenn. What a goal. Watch this. Leighton Glenn jinking. Benny Kavanagh inside. Two Carlow players gone. Here comes the third. Great finish. Brendan Murphy has been sent off. He was on a yellow card, and obviously with all the celebrations of the Wicklow goal, there was some bit of off the ball activity, some bit of dissent, and Brendan Murphy is now gone. So it's 14 against 14. Tony Hannon barely keeping inside. He's still there. And what about that for a point? Teddy Dalton gets involved. Gone inside is Jacko Dalton. Oh, beautiful! It is going to be so sweet for Jack Dalton. A dressing room change just before the throw-in. He gets called in by Mick O'Dwyer, and he responds with a brilliant goal. Sean Gannon sets up the Carlow move, but there's very little happening up front. Here's JJ, and that is over the bar for a point by JJ Smith. Darrow Haney lays it back, fires Paul Earls. He's a really good footballer and a good worker. Gone inside, and there's a chance here for Dalton. He's brought down by Thomas Walsh, and that, to me, looks like a penalty. Is it inside the large rectangle? Thomas Walsh could be going off here because he's on a second yellow, if this is a yellow card. There's the second yellow, and here comes the red. It was on the edge of the large rectangle. It was a sliding challenge. No doubt it was a yellow card, and as a result of the previous yellow, Thomas Walsh is off. Penalty not given, free is, and that is another point for Tony Hannon. Nothing going right for Carlow today. For Wicklow, they've made it happen. Leighton Glen, more trouble for Carlow. Goes for the most difficult option of them all. Leighton Glen is a classy footballer. Away goes Pádraig Murphy. He's not giving up, although I think Carlow are now out of the Leinster Championship. Another good point by Alan Kern. Back to the drawing board in the qualifiers for Luke Dempsey. From Mick O'Dwyer, he's heading to face Westmeath on the bank holiday weekend in June in the next round of the Leinster Championship. It's been a day of drama in O'Moore Park, Portlaoise. Full-time score in O'Moore Park, Wicklow 3-13, Carlow 12 points.
We're coming into a championship match for the first time as odds-on favourites, so to come out with a win like that was brilliant for all round, like especially for Miko as well. The pressure was on him after last year and the pressure was on the players, so to get a win was great. I think it was 11 points, but if it had been a point we would have been happy.
We knew coming in with the new rules that the first few games are going to get all this attention, and it certainly wasn't a dirty game. There was no malicious tackling, and to merit 13 and 3, 16 or 17 cards is laughable, but that's not for me to make a judgment on. I thought some of the stop-start nature of the so-called implementation of the new rules was farcical.
Anthony Luke says he's not going to comment on it, but it's farcical and laughable. 13 yellows, 3 reds. What did you think?
I will tend to agree with Luke's assessment there, and I think anyone who tuned in wanting to see what went on down in Portlaoise today, on the face of it, 13 yellows, 3 reds, you'd have thought there was all-out war, but there was barely a bad stroke in the game, and certainly yellow cards have been handed out very, very easily and too readily by the referee, and I think it's it's not right that the first reduced to 14 minutes. The game was nicely in the balance, but credit Wicklow, they dug deep. The wee bit more know-how with them, particularly up front. Shawnee Furlong, Tony Hannon, young Earls in the corner, and Leighton Glen were pulling all the strings in that forward line. They just were able to get their scores and ran out fairly comfortable winners in the end. But the game was sitting nicely at half time, and it was disappointing the way it fiddled out in the second half, and very, very disappointing. To have so many yellow cards and red cards at this stage of the season in a game that was really a clean match.
Okay then. Anthony made reference there, Kieran, to Wicklow's attacking strength. You were keeping a particular eye on that. Yeah, there was good passages of play. Wicklow have a very strong forward line, and I think Leighton Glen typified why he's one of the best forwards in the country. I think Anthony will be glad to have him in his international rules team. This is his first score of 1-4 from play. Excellent score over the bar, and he was a torment to the Carlow defence all day. Tony Hannon free we picked out because it's very important for any team to have somebody who can put 45 fives over like that, and this was score of the game. Leighton Glen gets the ball in the corner, he rings around 2 guys, leaves them for dead and finishes, great finish into the back of the net, But there was good passages of play, as it was disappointing that it was littered with yellow and red cards, I suppose, Des, I'm just glad I wasn't playing, because I would have done well to get through the 70 minutes with those sort of rules. All right. And now that you've made yourself a co-selector for Anthony with the international rules as well, it'll keep you busy. For Carlow, was it all doom and gloom?
It wasn't all doom and gloom, Des, but you look at where they went wrong, and you look at their starting forward line, 6 forwards, no score from play. They relied on players down the pitch, in particular in defence. Alan Kern was outstanding. He was the one that was pushing forward in the second half to show us forwards how it should be done, and kicked 3 points from play. A very, very good performance from him. But for me, the one area in which, if Carlow were going to win this game, they needed to dominate, and that was in midfield. And you had young lad Brendan Murphy back from Aussie rules, and Thomas Walsh returning. Great to see him back in a Carlow jersey. But today it was the younger Brendan Murphy was the one of the two that did show leadership and show great ability to catch the ball, drive forward. And even when he fumbled and lost it, he's able to come and you think the chance is gone, kicks a wonderful point from distance. He was outstanding today. Tommy Wilson maybe been back for about a month, never really got going, never really got to grips with the game, but Brendan Murphy, what a performance by him. So there's a massive plus for Carlow football. Okay, the game ended for Brendan on a very, very sour note in that he received a straight red for something that we didn't see off the ball. You can understand why a lad like that gets frustrated. He was playing his heart out and wasn't getting an awful lot of support from those around him. Young lad, and he's got to learn from today, and certainly one to watch. And it's a shame we won't see him maybe as much in the likes of big games at Croke Park as we should, because he's a very, very rich talent.
Okay then. Thanks for that. Well, the defending All-Ireland champions, Kerry, began the defence of their title by travelling to Thurles to take on Tipperary. Now remember, the Tip under-21s had already beaten Kerry this year